The idea of sizing, at least in my opinion, from experience, is just you need to do it chunk by chunk and not jump from 100 shares to 2,000 shares, right? Because the risk that you're taking on that is much higher, and then it's harder for you on the mental, like the psychological aspect of it, to actually adjust yourself to it. Welcome everybody to another Funded Trader of Tradervue. Today, a special guest is with me, not just an ordinary. I gotta tell you in advance, we've known each other for, I guess, a year, maybe 2 years. We met in a conference in Spain. Very famous mentor and a trader in Spain. Capelo, how are you doing, buddy?
Hi, thank you for having me. Yeah, we are fine. Yeah.
Amazing. So we'll do roughly the same interview as I always do, but because you do have a huge community in Spain and worldwide, and you have so much knowledge in trading, it will be amazing to hear someone with experience, with lots of experience like you know, sharing the process and how you passed the evaluation, because you did it on your first attempt, right?
Mm-hmm. First week. Last attempt, first week.
That's incredible. In most cases, I always say it will take like 3, maybe 5 attempts to pass the evaluation. There are literally rare cases when you pass on your first attempt, and like you said, within a week. So that's incredible. So tell the guys how you did it. What's the difference?
Well, I'm mostly a short seller. I wait for the right moment. That's the most difficult part, but with patience, picking the right stocks, because I rather trade stocks that gap the first day, they gap up, and then I wait for the best point. It's the price, what I call the point of no return. Mm-hmm. So it's really difficult to get in that price, but once you get it, your P&L is green the whole day. So it's something that I like to practice. I use like Tradervue and another journal softwares, and I practice with the stocks that I tried 3 months ago, how I would do today, knowing what I know now. I try to get the best price as possible.
And how do you do that? I mean, we have a lot of short sellers in Tradervue, because especially on the small cap, and they all obviously got their own way to find the top. What is your secret there?
I wait for the first sign of weakness, and you can say it's like the very first red candle, like it's big enough. Of course, it has to be after like a huge run up, like maybe 100. Once it gets to 200, 300 or more, it's really dangerous. And if it's after 11 a.m., I will try to avoid that. But if it's maybe in pre-market, right now I have four trades so far with another account, 3 green, 1 red. I think what most traders need that they don't have is an edge. Like I'm trading like the short side, because anyone that see chart of this kind of stocks, small caps, most of them fall eventually. So I try to enter in a good price, get the better feel as possible, and then have patience. I try to close my trades close to the close of the market, like maybe 9:30, 10. That's it. That's what gives me my edge.
Okay, so most of the trades are during pre-market, you say?
Yeah, most of them are, but you don't need to trade only pre-market. You can trade them during the regular hours. You might miss really good trades, but yeah, you can have like second chances in regular hours.
Amazing. And you started trading stocks, or you came with a background from futures or Forex?
Yeah, I tried everything, futures, Forex, but like 11 months ago, I focused on small caps, and I found this. It's not easy, but it's easier to find an edge. As I said, that you can trade many different strategies and be profitable. You cannot do that in Forex, not in intraday, because Forex intraday it's almost impossible. With futures, you might find some good results, but it's also really difficult. Maybe if you get the statistics and the right levels, you can be profitable, but it's really, really, really difficult. with stocks and small caps, I find it easier, like really, really easier. My best month was April. I turned like it was 1,500 into 32K in a month. So doing what I just explained. So there's something there that you can exploit.
Amazing. And yeah, and the opportunities in the stock market, we have 12,000 symbols to trade. So many opportunities every single day. It's not like, as you said, in Forex, you have those 30 pairs, right? Or futures, you have 30 assets. But when you have so many stocks that are pumping and dumping, it's much easier to catch that move and find the next opportunity.
Yeah, this was one of my concerns, that you don't have those stocks, but so far I found everything that I wanted to trade with you. So that's really good. And yeah, with futures, you are maybe limited to 3-4 assets. With futures, yeah, maybe 10. You can find whatever strategy you want to trade in stocks, you can trade it.
Yeah. Amazing. I'm going to share my screen and show your dashboard, how it looks like. For those of you not familiar, every trader gets his own dashboard and basically can track his stats and see the progress. Let's talk a little bit about that. Here it is. So you're watching the Flex 50K, meaning unlimited time to pass the evaluation. With $50,000 buying power, you need to reach a certain goal, which you did. And then max loss, not to break the rules, and of course trade within the parameters. This is your chart, and at the beginning you can see, like a rusty start, I guess.
I was getting used to the platform.
Yeah, exactly. Bounced a little bit, and then you had a pullback almost to break even, and all of a sudden you found the sweet spot where you actually found your rhythm and took yourself all the way up to the profit. Do you remember what happened during that time?
Yeah, I had one bad trade, but yeah, sometimes happen.
Yeah, that's for sure. 57% success rate, which is quite nice, and 2.2 on the risk reward, which is also great. Looking at the trades, like you said, small cap mostly, shorting them, and maybe besides 1 or 2 trades on the long side. Did you ever try to go long as well? So, because it's always a pump and then the dump, right? So maybe trying to catch the big move to the upside.
Yeah, sometimes I try to long stocks, but for me it's really difficult because every breakout I see in my head is like, it could be like a failed breakout. So many times I try to get long, it's the worst price I get during the day. So I try to do the opposite, though, get short on that level. But yeah, so I try like do small scalps in the long side with no much risk, so I don't miss like a good opportunity, because stocks can run up like 1,000%.
Yeah,
it's in my opinion, it's really difficult. You have to be like an expert in both sides of the market. And I will recommend to start with one thing, and then once you are really good at it, like change to the other, or use both at the same time.
Because when I'm thinking, when I'm watching a lot of our traders, short sellers, I always ask them the same question I'm going to ask you. Is the market will affect your strategy? Let's say if we're in a bullish market, a very strong market, did you see that it's affecting, or you think it will affect at the end of the day the strategy?
Well, this market is like independent from everything. You might have some hot sectors, but during the downside of the S&P that we had like a few weeks ago, you can see like there was less liquidity, less shares traded, but you still have like really nice moves. So it might change a little bit sometimes, but in the end, it's these stocks don't follow the main indexes.
Got it. And are you thinking of doing something different on your evaluation now that you passed to the funded account? So anything going to change, or your approach? I'm guessing the strategy will remain the same, but anything on your side that you thought about?
No, I will try to do the same, like honor my rules, don't get stuck in a hot stock that runs up a lot. That's my main problem. And I will try not to use a lot of size, because in May I lost some of the money I made in April, and that was purely because I used too much size. Because the stops and everything I would do the same today, but I had like 5 times the size I was using in April. So it's like 1 or 2 stops was like 6-8K in a day down.
Yeah, and definitely when increasing sizes, I mean, now you're trading like 1,000, a few hundreds, and that's great. When increasing sizes, you definitely see it over time. If not doing it correctly, like the idea of sizing, at least in my opinion, from experience, is just you need to do it chunk by chunk and not jump from 100 shares to 2,000 shares, right? Because the risk that you're taking on that is much higher, and then it's harder for you on the mental, like the psychological aspect of it, to actually adjust yourself to it.
In the beginning, my progress was slow, like 100 a day, 150, then 200, then 400, then I don't know, 600. But once I was like getting every trade and everything was like really smooth, the market put me on my. He taught me a lesson. So I was moving like 20 to 30K nominal value. So that was like 5 times more than I was using before, of 5 to 6,000.
Yeah, it's always the market, as you say. It's always the market that humble you at the end, and telling you, listen, you got to.
I was going too fast. I think we all want money, but fast money, it usually goes away fast too. So, but I withdraw some money. I'm talking about like my account, right? And then with you now with the evaluation, I think I can make with this account with the 50K. Maybe if I do right, 4 to 10K a month, maybe it will be challenging, but I would like to try.
Amazing. And you also have the achievements here. So congrats on that. You have the certificate. You can obviously download it. And for those of you reaching the funded phase, definitely do that. Share it with your guys at home. And maybe we'll do one more, Capelo, once you reach the payout, and you can talk about the process there. I'm sure the guys that listening right now would love for more information and more insight, especially because you have the experience and you have a huge community with a lot of traders that you've been responsible to teaching them the way. So I'm sure everyone will be happy to hear more about it.
Yeah, I think we will get to that point.
For sure. Alrighty. So thanks so much. And guys at home that want to check us out, go to traderpool.com. We'll see you on the next video. Take care.